Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of Carnegie Borough Council to order. We'll begin with a moment of silence, please.
Mr. President, this being Police Memorial Month, as well as our memorial for our veterans, let us remember those who have passed in active duty and those to continue to serve, protect our great nation.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Steve, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilperson Boyd.
Here.
Councilperson Demka.
Here.
Councilperson Delos.
Here.
Councilperson Cody. Councilperson Sarsfield.
Here.
Council President Tina.
Here.
Mayor Kavistik. Here. We have a quorum.
We have a proclamation this evening. Mr. Mayor? I'm sorry. For Arbor Day. Nobody gave me any.
The Shade Tree Commission is here for that.
Oh, Shade Tree?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Nobody told me a thing about it. Do you have it? I'll read it.
No, I don't.
Here. Wait, we look it up. Can we do it? Let's start the meeting.
Okay, we'll go back to
I can
that.
do this if you like. I can do the.
Well,
this if you-
let it, Jack can find it.
If I can find it. Hopefully I can get on. Sometimes I can't get online in here, and I can't get online.
Go ahead, Bridget, while she makes that presentation.
Nice.
Well, what I have for you this evening is, I am Bridget Van Dorn from the Shade Tree Commission, and some of you have seen some of the signage and the flag for Tree City USA. Well, Carnegie Borough, congratulations, has been awarded the title of Tree City USA for 2013, which is a very nice honor bestowed upon us by the National Arbor Day Foundation. And we had to go through several steps and hurdles and hoops to get there. But anyway, so this is the plaque, and I hope that we will find a nice place to put it. And I will
Absolutely.
present it to the mayor here.
I think that in our lobby,
No, I got it.
Mr. President, we look great.
It's very nice.
Beautiful.
I think we should hang that up back here, or we want to hang it up downstairs.
I think downstairs, that way it gets damaged.
Thank you.
And the proclamation, the point of the proclamation is to continue with our Tree City USA. And so what we were going to be having read tonight was a proclamation saying that in Carnegie, Arbor Day would be, this year, would be recognized on May 21st, which is the day that we're going to have a service day from the high school, that some of the kids are going to come and help, supposed to be coming to help remove some of the stakes.
They're coming.
They're going to remove some of the old stakes from the original first round of planting, because they're ready to be stakeless, and and then put new mulch around them. So that's the plan, and so we decided that we would call that one our Arbor Day, since we knew that we wouldn't be able to get this in time for April. So if we can simply get that printed out and put it into our file, because we need it to continue our Tree City USA standards, that's one of the things we have to do. So whether it's read out loud or not, doesn't really matter, as long as we proclaim that that's the day and that we're recognizing it as that day. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks. Thanks for all your work, your and John's. And the rest of the tree commission. I don't think, there's nobody else here from the tree commission other than our councilman, Mike Sarsfield.
Is there any comment on any of the listed motions this evening?
Leonard?
Seeing that there's no comment, Administration. Councilman Loss. I'm sorry, Councilman Sarsfield.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. I have one motion. It's motion A, motion to approve the minutes of the council meeting held on April 14th, 2014.
Second.
Comment, Steve, are those amendments going to be in those minutes that we approved?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, let me reread the motion, Mr. President. It's a motion to approve the minutes with changes proceeding from the council meeting held on April 14th, 2014.
Second.
Is there a second?
And just to elaborate, the main change, the main issue was that last month we nominated Todd Scott, who's our assistant fire chief, as our interim emergency management coordinator, and we didn't have the word interim in the minutes. So that's the big thing. We didn't, and pretty much made him a full-blown emergency management coordinator, which may end up being that way anyway. But thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Councilman Delos, finance, please.
Motion to approve the May bill list and bill list addendum.
Second.
Motion. Second? Oh, sorry. I didn't hear a second. Okay. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing that there's no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Councilperson DeLoss,
Yes.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Yes.
Councilperson Demko,
Yes.
Council President Katina.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Public Works, Councilwoman Demko.
Motion to approve payment to Solite Construction, Inc. in the amount of $19,186.21 for the project closeout of sewer contract number 2013-3A.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing that there's no discussion, roll call vote, please, Steve.
Councilperson Demko,
Yes.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Yes.
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Councilperson DeLoss,
Yes.
Council President Katina.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve a change order to contract 2014-1C in the amount of $37,037.50, authorizing Longevity and Son Excavating Inc. to perform drainage work on parking lot number 10.
Second. Motion has been made and seconded. Discussion? Seeing that there's no discussion, roll call vote, please, Steve.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Yes.
Councilperson Demko,
Yes.
Councilperson DeLoss,
Yes.
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Council President Katina.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve payment estimate number 1 to Longevity and Son Excavating Inc. in the amount of $23,760 for work completed between April 1st, 2014 and April 30th, 2014 for the 2014 sewer contract number 2014-1C, specialty repairs.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing that there's no discussion, roll call vote, please, Steve.
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Yes.
Councilperson DeLoss,
Yes.
Councilperson Demko,
Yes.
Council President Katina.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to offer part-time seasonal health employment for the Department of Public Works to Brad Mooring at a pay rate of $9 per hour, pending successful results of a physical examination and drug screen. Starting date to be determined by the superintendent of the Department of Public Works.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing that there's no discussion, roll call vote, please, Steve.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Yes.
Councilperson DeLoss,
Yes.
Councilperson Demko,
Yes.
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Council President Katina.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to offer part-time seasonal help employment for the Department of Public Works to Dennis Lawrence Jr. at a pay rate of $9 per hour pending successful results of a physical examination and drug screen. Starting date to be determined by the superintendent of the Department of Public Works.
Second. Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing that there's no discussion, roll call vote, please, Steve.
Councilperson DeLoss,
Yes.
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Yes.
Councilperson Demko,
Yes.
Council President Katina.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to offer part-time seasonal help employment for the Department of Public Works to Jeffrey Steffen Jr. at a pay rate of $9 per hour pending successful results of a physical examination and a drug screen. Starting date to be determined by the superintendent of the Department of Public Works.
Second. Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing that there's no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Yes.
Councilperson DeLoss,
Yes.
Councilperson Demko,
Yes.
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Council President Katina.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to offer part-time seasonal help employment for the Department of Public Works to Jordan Audie at a pay rate of $9 per hour pending successful results of the physical examination and drug screen. Starting date to be determined by the superintendent of the Department of Public Works.
Second. Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please, Steve.
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Yes.
Councilperson Demko,
Yes.
Councilperson DeLoss,
Yes.
Council President Katina.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to offer part-time seasonal help employment for the Department of Public Works to Frank Schmansky at a pay rate of $18 per hour, starting date to be determined by the superintendent of the Department of Public Works.
Second. Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Seeing that there's no discussion, roll call vote.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Yes.
Councilperson DeLoss,
Yes.
Councilperson Demko,
Yes.
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Council President Katina.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to accept the bid from A&H Equipment in the amount of $38,000 for a 1996 Vector combination sewer cleaner.
Second. Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, just a quick, I just wanted to say that this is something that we've been trying to get for a good long time for our public works so that they can start doing some of our sewer cleaning in-house.
Thank you.
Over and above that, we spent $120,000 last year on sewer cleaning, and while we'll have to apply labor against this $38,000 investment, it's pretty easy to do the math and see that this is very, very smart money being spent. And I, for one, am very excited that we're making this investment.
Over a 3-year, just to dovetail on what Councilman Boyd says, over a 3-year period, we spent about $400,000 on fees for the Vector truck. Now that obviously includes labor, like he suggested, but even if you back out the labor, we're still going to be on the plus side of this by about $300,000 over a 3-year period. So it's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. Thank you.
And Mr. President, let me ask you, is this coming out of the general fund?
This is coming out of the sewage fund,
Right.
100% out of the
Right,
sewage
that's what I
fund.
thought. And I know that, I just want to make sure, we should mention that though.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Roll
Okay, J,
call.
which is, sorry,
Roll call vote, please, Dave.
Councilperson Demko,
yes.
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Councilperson DeLoss,
Yes.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Yes.
Council President Katina.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And J, which isn't on your agenda, which we added, is motion to advertise Borough Ordinance Number 2399, an ordinance of the Borough of Carnegie, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, amending Chapter 21 of the Borough Code of Ordinances regarding street and sidewalk openings in the borough.
Second.
Motion has been made, seconded. Any discussion? Seeing that there's
Just want to say that, and I said this in the back room, that this is definitely an ordinance that I wanted to see on the table even a few years ago, but it looks like it's finally going to come to fruition, so I think it's a good ordinance for the community. I think if you go around our community, you see a lot of damage to the roads, which from these utility companies that come in without a permit, dig up the road and don't restore the road the way they're supposed to be. And with another piece with this, as we talked about earlier, is we need to get the word out to our residents, is when they see someone in their neighborhood, especially a utility company digging, call the borough building, let us know about it, and we need to check it out to make sure they have the proper permit, and that they will restore the road properly, and that they're bonded properly to do the work. So that's this is a good start at protecting our expensive roads.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Community Development and Code Enforcement, Councilman Boyd.
How about public
Oh,
safety?
Public Safety, sorry, skipped you entirely.
That's all right. Motion to adopt Resolution 2014-10, a resolution of the Borough of Carnegie, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, recognizing the value and services provided by emergency services organizations of the Borough of Carnegie.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Do you want to clarify what this?
Sure. There's been an ongoing effort coordinated by the DCED, Department of Community Economic Development. Thank you. I'm still working on my alphabet soup. The DCED, working with the boroughs of Ingram, Carnegie, and Crafton to look at a way to consolidate our emergency services, to figure out if there's a way to do so in such a manner that there could be a cost savings to the three boroughs. It looks like Crafton and Carnegie are going to move forward. Crafton has already passed a very similar resolution to our resolution, which is required by DCED for these efforts to continue.
Thank you.
Very good.
Roll call vote, or I'm sorry, just all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution 2014-11, a resolution of the Borough of Carnegie, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, supporting Senate Bill 1340 and House Bill 1272, enabling municipal police to use the same motor vehicle speed timing equipment as the Pennsylvania State Police. And to clarify that one level further, it's my general understanding that there are currently 49 states in our great country that allow this. One state that does not, that would be our state, and we would like to join the masses.
Very true.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Discussion.
Just would like to say that that this resolution, Steve, if you forward a copy of this resolution to the Mayor's Association, I have it. They're collecting them all and sending them in bulk to the Senate and the legislature.
And I don't know if anybody noticed the article in the Post-Gazette, I believe that was Saturday, pretty lengthy article. And unlike in past years and past presentations on House bills, the state police have not been advocates of it. However, the colonel of the Pennsylvania State Police said that he's in full support of allowing all municipal police. He said, they're out there doing a job just like we do. He says that we patrol some municipalities that cannot afford their own police departments, and he said that he doesn't see any reason not to allow this. So I think that that's definitely a step further than we've ever been, because I know that in past history, the state police have advocated legislators to oppose it. However, with their support, there should be no reason why a bill can't be passed.
Now, everybody understand we're talking about radar guns for police, the speed detecting radars. It doesn't say that, but that's what this is talking about.
Thank you. The only thing I'd like to add is that a few months ago, Senator Matt Smith was here
in this chamber is at a COG meeting talking about this legislation. And he suggested that, well, actually he was here, Representative Cody was here, Representative Fontana. They were all here at COG event, and this had come up, and we were talking about how to get this passed. And one of their recommendations was that in order to get anything passed, or anything at a government level or a legislative level, you need to have some, obviously, municipalities behind you, or you need to have the backing of municipalities in order to get things passed. One of the things that we'll be doing this Thursday at our COG meeting, the Shore West COG, is the Shore West COG will be passing a resolution in support of radar use by our various municipalities. And I think you've already read in last week's signal item that Green Tree was passing, and each of the other COG municipalities are passing individual resolutions, and the COGs are passing them as well, to send these all to Harrisburg to spur this on and continue and not let this fall, because this is so important to all the municipalities and actually getting this passed this time, because it's been an uphill battle for a number of years, and hopefully this time will succeed. So.
Right, Mount Lebanon and Upper St. Clair also just recently passed resolutions too.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to advertise Borough Ordinance 2398, an ordinance of the Borough of Carnegie, Allegheny County, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, amending Article 2, Chapter 15, Section...
I think we're striking that one.
This is the one we're at.
This is the,
I'm ad-libbing now.
this is Leonard Street.
I'm a little confused tonight. I'm sorry.
Well, but it needs to say, yeah.
I'm getting it. I was still in the
That's where I
intro.
was confused. Okay.
All right, you ready? Motion to advertise Borough Ordinance number 2398. This is where it changes. An ordinance of the Borough of Carnegie, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, amending Article 2, Chapter 15, Section 116 of the Borough Code of Ordinances, amending and adding to the list of no right turn intersections the following location: Summit Street at Chestnut Street.
Second.
Is that, or did he have to say Article 2 at the beginning too?
I did say Article 2.
No, he did say it below, as far as amending Article 2, but the new ordinance,
It's amending Article 2.
is it amending Article 2, or is it Article 2 of this ordinance that amends the other one?
It's amending chapter 16.
Yeah, well, he's right about that part, but but we're not accepting the whole ordinance, we're
No,
not.
you're not accepting the whole ordinance, you're accepting.
Just Article 2. Okay, and that's, and I just want to make sure that's clarified, because I think that, he said amending Article 2 of the old ordinance.
Well, no, that's not correct.
Right.
What would be correct would be everything you read. Article 2, there's two.
Let me just back it up then. Let me strike any reference to Article 2 in my previously made statement.
Thank you.
Correct. That would be the value, correct.
Motion has been made, seconded. Is there discussion? Leonard, would you like to say anything, Leonard?
I just want to say that
Yeah, that needs clarification.
There's an ordinance that was written to put a stop, to do some traffic changes. It's not on your agenda. Most of the changes were cut out of the ordinance. The only one that is being voted on to advertise the ordinance tonight is a no right turn on from Summit on to Chestnut for trucks only.
and the reason is, as obviously Leonard lives up where we keep talking about, but he's been at our meetings pointing this out to us for quite a long time. And the turning radius is just not sufficient for a truck to make the turn without doing some infrastructure damage to our sidewalks and even our poles and posts.
And Leonard came up with this novel idea, what, a month ago, 2 months ago? So we're acting on it tonight finally. So you've been talking about it for a while now, but we're finally acting on it tonight, so. Is there any further discussion? If there's no further discussion, roll call vote, or we don't need a roll call vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Community Development and Code Enforcement, Councilman Boyd.
Motion to adopt Resolution 2014-12, a resolution of the Borough of Carnegie, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, opting to participate in the Allegheny County Community Development Block Grant Program and Home Investment Partnership Program.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing that there's no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution number 2014-13, a resolution of the Borough of Carnegie, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, authorizing Borough Council to submit a financial assistance application to the Pennsylvania Infrastructure Authority, also known as PennVest.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing that there's no discussion, roll call vote, please, Steve, on this one.
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Councilperson DeLoss,
Yes.
Councilperson Demko,
Yes.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Absolutely.
Council President Katina.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to advertise a public hearing on Monday, June 9th, 2014 at 6:30 p.m. for a conditional use hearing for the proposed massage therapy business located at 39 West Main Street. It would be 103-R-140.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Second.
You didn't want a second?
You didn't want to second it, you wanted it to die. Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. I thought I was the only one.
No asparagus for you.
Committee reports.
Excuse me, the one that says C, did that just get tabled or something about fireworks? It's on our agenda. It wasn't the one you read, it wasn't.
4C was removed, it was struck.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's just more work, there's more work being done on it.
If you have any input regarding it, let us know. Anyone who has input on it. I mean, we're taking input on it. So if you can get to our borough manager and let us know any concerns you have in that, and also come to any of our workshops, which will be, the next one will be June 1st, right? Is that correct? Is June 1st a Monday?
If June 8th is a Monday, June 1st is.
Second is a Monday.
Okay.
Second.
June 2nd. So don't come on June 1st, because we won't be here.
Well, you can come June 1st and wait for us.
No, but you're more than welcome to join in our discussion and find out what's on the agenda and talk about it.
Councilman Sarsfield, administration.
Yes, Mr. President. The things that I have to talk about aren't directly administration to the borough, but one is a community announcement, and I'll be giving this to the mayor to send out on his email. It's a short announcement, but I just received it a few days back. On Wednesday, May 14th, State Representative Jesse White and State Representative Nick Kodik are having a community conversation about heroin abuse. The doors open at 6:30. The event begins at 7 p.m. It's at Chartiers Valley High School, 50 Toms Run Road in Bridgeville. From what Representative Jesse White had indicated to me, he held one out of Burgerstown High School, and he said that it was really, really well attended, and just to hear some of the stories that people had to tell, that this is being conducted through the Attorney General's Office of Education and Outreach. So, again, I'll pass this along to the mayor at the end of the meeting, if he can put that out on his email. The other thing is that the flyer planning that took place this past Saturday was very successful. It was a very enjoyable day. When I first arrived, I was presented with a packet of trees by one of the members of the Daughters of the American Revolution. She actually lives up on your street, Pat, and we will have a discussion at Wednesday's Shade Tree Committee meeting as to where to properly plant these trees. It will be the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War, and that's why they want to get these trees planted, so hopefully we can get that done before Memorial Day. I think that would be very suitable. And also my planning, I was joined by a lady, and her young daughter was maybe 4 or 5 years old, and she just had a blast, and I think all the planners look really, really good. Also today, myself and a couple members from the Shade Tree Commission met with PennDOT out here looking at the right-of-way. We talked about in past years planting trees all along this stretch of roadway. And it seemed like PennDOT was very open and very excited about it. Bridget's going to pen a letter to them, and he thinks it's pretty easy getting the approval. So I think, once that's done and the trees come in, I think it will look fantastic covering that whole stretch of highway there with trees. And that's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Finance, Councilman Velez.
Thank you, Mr. President. 2014 is a labor negotiations year for us. All 3 of our labor contracts expire at the end of this year. They used to not expire on that same timeline. However, we did intentionally do that several years ago so as to reduce the complications of healthcare changes. It does present us an extra burden to negotiate 3 labor agreements during the same year, but the last time we had changes to the healthcare plan, and we needed to make them all in the same year. So this year, all of our contracts are expiring. We will begin negotiations with the police department on May the 14th, which is 2 days from now. And we will then also be simultaneously negotiating with the other 2 labor agreements as well, the Teamsters for Public Works and the Steelworkers for the administrative staff. Typically, these negotiations start with language changes which are not necessarily monetary in impact, but eventually, of course, they do get to salary and health care costs. We will need to identify fairly early in our budget season this year the impact of labor negotiations, so that as we get into the fall and we get into these conversations, we know how much money we're dealing with, both as to what the borough can afford to spend versus what, of course, the employees would like to get. And that requires for us to have some more definitive financial information, I would say around the September, October timeframe, not later than that. So we'll begin these negotiations this week, and we'll continue all 3 of the groups through the summer. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Code enforcement or anything for community development, Councilman Boyd?
Only one item for community development, and that's the long-awaited opening of 113 East Main.
131.
131.
What?
I subtracted because it took so long. 131 East Main. I haven't been there yet. I've talked to a couple of people that have, and they said it was very, very good. Mikey?
It was absolutely great.
Did you have the Wagyu burger? I see it on the menu and I want one.
No, we had the lamb. Me and my wife both had the lamb, and then after that we went to play it off the wall.
Nice.
But the service was spectacular. The food was fantastic. It was really a great experience.
far be it anyone not say we don't support our new businesses. So I'm glad to report that occurred, and that's all I have this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you. Public Works, Councilwoman Demko.
Nothing to report tonight.
Back to you, Councilman Boyd, with Public Safety.
Public safety, the only thing noteworthy this evening is that this past Sunday, the fire department and an outside testing firm rolled out all the hoses and completed testing of all reserve hoses and all hoses on all engines. And thanks to the investments that we made over the last 2 years, all hoses passed their tests and we're good to go. And that's all I have to report there.
Thank you. I have no report this evening. Steve, manager?
Yes, I just had a couple of things to go over. Today, I had met with the county and PennDOT on the 3rd Street Bridge project, just to give everyone kind of a tentative schedule. They're still looking to start at the end of June, and they would be going till November. And just so everyone knows, it would be closed to vehicle traffic, but they will still have one sidewalk open, so pedestrians can still travel from Scott to Carnegie, so that helps out with that. But obviously, we'll keep everyone updated with road closures for that. So another item I just wanted to bring up as far as some grants that the administrative department is currently working on. There's currently a program with Duquesne Lake to work on some of the street lights, not decorative poles, but the actual street lights. They would be able to convert those to LED and in turn give us a saving on our bills. So hopefully that'll be something that not too many people apply for, and we'll be able to take advantage of that. And another thing that we're working towards, administration as well as Public Works, the borough is looking for a new leaf collector in order to keep up our leaf collection throughout the fall. So that's something that we're going to be applying for here within the next couple of months. So just any grant opportunity that we have, we've been working on. So that's all I have to report for tonight.
Did they give any update when they expect to post detours, or when the detour routes might be going up?
I think that they're going to be more frequently having meetings, whether it be weekly or every other week. So they didn't give me anything concrete yet.
But it still looks like end of June.
Correct.
And just to follow up on that also, Mr. President, to confirm the mayor, what he had mentioned, I believe last month, that the Campbell's Run Road project won't be happening for 2 years. I had a conversation earlier today with Steve, County Councilman Finnerty wanted to make sure that we did take pictures of the section of road that it continues to erode away and get that to them, because they're just now going through the stages of what portions and what needs to be done and stuff like that. And he felt that that's important, that if he has photos and information, so he makes sure that that section gets properly stabilized.
Thank you.
Yes.
Councilman Boyd, anything for the volunteer fire department EMS report?
Sure, there were 183 EMS calls last month and 17 fire calls last month. In addition, everybody knows we had the 5K fundraiser for the fire department, and that went off extremely well. Appreciate the fire department's sends thanks and appreciation message to both the Carnegie Police Department and to Borough Administration for their extra efforts and being wise with the money that's spent and just in general making it a team effort and making it the fun event that it really is intended to be, all while generating some much needed funds for the fire department. It was just a great day.
One more thing on that. Do not leave out Public Works.
Do not leave out Public Works,
Well,
absolutely.
I mean,
I was including you in we had, Keith was instrumental in helping coordinate.
absolutely, but not only that, they all donated their time during the day. Not one person got paid for the work they did during the day to race. So,
Thank you very much.
You know how much you
Appreciate it.
raised?
The gross was a little over $21,000. Anticipated expenses are somewhat less than $4,000. I guess the real tale of the tape is that we did better than we've done in previous years.
I have the figures right here.
You got the exact numbers?
I got the exact numbers, so, want me to read it now?
Yeah.
I guess Maggie's not very patient, so we need to read it now. Am I right, Mr. DeLoss? Yes. Hi, Maggie. 21,240 was the gross that we had. The shirts cost us $1,800, the trophies were $272.54. And the timing, which isn't in yet, should be less than last year. Last year was about $1,680, so we're thinking that the timing will come in around $1,650. That's a guesstimate, because we saved some money there, which would make a total profit of $17,429.46. Oh, I forgot, we have an $88 expense for paint, to paint the arrows. So those were all the expenses. Everything else was completely donated. So, and well, that's the number I have. That's not an official. So let's just say officially around 17.5 is what we'll make once we find out what the timing is. Give or take 100.
Thank you.
Last year's total profit was 15.8, so we exceeded that.
Up over 10%. It's fantastic. And again, it was truly a team event and a lot of work, but I really thought it was fun too. So we'll go from there.
Thank you. Junior Council?
The Judge and Chaperone got 3 play nominations. They are for Best Costume Design, Best Musical, and Best Supporting Actor. The Michigan class of 2014 State School was today, and the graduation day is May 25th at Soldier and Sailors Memorial Hall Museum. I'd like to thank Mr. Pacatina for buying a play ad for the Judge and Chaperone, and then the softball and baseball team both are playing the playoffs. Thank you.
Did I hear you right? Did you say that you're graduating May 25th?
No, I just said the senior.
The senior class is graduating May 25th. Wow, that's awful early, isn't it? That's great.
I must have studied extra hard.
No, it's no.
Right, that's not
Yeah,
it.
yes.
Carleton's commencement ceremonies will be on Friday, June 13th at Hannes Wagner Field, or if it rains, it will be at Carleton High School in the auditorium.
Thank you.
Next Thursday, which is the 22nd, is Carleton's annual Kennywood Picnic Day, which is when we take the day off and a bunch of kids from the district go to Kennywood. So if anyone wants to go and has kids that wants to go, that's the day to do it.
Would you like an 8-year-old to go with you? Just checking.
Future politician, he didn't answer.
Right, he didn't say no. Yeah, he didn't say no or he didn't say yes. He was rather non-committal. Very good. I applaud that. Junior Council, next month will be your last meeting, and then we'll be on summer hiatus, and then we'll be accepting new nominations for Junior Council members in September, starting September of the following year. But we'll be honoring you guys next month, so if you want to bring your families, by all means, please do so. So thank you very much for your service, and like I said, we'll be officially thanking you next month. Mayor's report?
Thank you, Mr. President. For the month of April, excuse me, we're in the month of May. For the month of April, we had criminal arrests and citations numbering 43. Traffic citations were at 67. Parking tickets, 110. Complaints and self-initiated activity were 1,076. Just a couple notes from our department that we'd like to get across to everyone is, if you have abandoned homes in an area, which we do have a few in this community, abandoned homes or abandoned businesses, we've had a rash of about 3 or 4, I think. Was it 3 or 4, Chief? I think 4. we've had that's considered a rash of break-ins where people have been breaking in, and we don't know what time of day, but stealing the copper out of the homes. In fact, it happened right across the street from me, where they never noticed them. They even painted the windows to make it so the lights, you couldn't see the lights in the evening, and they took all the copper out of the basement. So it can happen anywhere. So if you be extra vigilant if you live near abandoned homes or vacant homes. Unfortunately, I have one across the street and one next door to me, so I have a lot to worry about. But that's the news from the abandoned home front. Impact details. Our department will be rolling out multiple impact details throughout the summer on different things. After they happen, we can give you some details on them, but beforehand, it's kind of hush-hush. One of the ones that we did recently was an impact traffic detail on Forsyth Road, and the officers, for about 4 hours, we had about 6 officers up there just looking out for speeders. Something else to look out for is this is the season for door-to-door salesmen, and we want to make sure that everyone is safe. Please remember, people do have to register here at the borough. That doesn't mean we do a background check on them, though they do have to provide us with a background check. But they're registered, we have their name, and they should produce that to you when they come to your door. If you do not want solicitors on your property, you can always post your property, no soliciting. They do have to abide by that. No one should ever enter your door. Once again, I live pretty close to Washington Avenue. The other day, there was a gentleman who actually opened my screen door and walked into my house looking for somebody. And of course, I was pretty upset over that. So he did have his credentials, but that should never happen. If that does happen, please call 911 and we will take care of that appropriately. You do not have to open the door for anyone that knocks on your door. So whatever you do is safety first. They're allowed to solicit in our borough until 9 p.m. So that does allow them sometimes soliciting during the during the evening hours. But once again, you do not have to open the door and you can post your property. Want to thank the Girl Scouts from Troop 50254. They were down at the cleanup on Saturday, and we registered probably about 8 different families for Adopt-A-Block. Kind of got rained on there about 3/4 of the way through, but they will also be out registering families, individuals, or groups for Adopt-A-Block. It'll be out on Election Day and then on June 7th. So look for them in the evening on Election Day, and then on June 7th we'll get out some more information on that. And it was a nice day because I was surprised the number of people that actually signed up. Actually came down specifically to sign up for Adopt-A-Block. So I think this is going to catch on. So thank you very much for all those who did sign up. We talked about the race. Just to piggyback on Councilman Boyd's, I really want to thank all the sponsors for this year's race. Our Councilman DeLoss is a business sponsor of our race. He does it every year. I want to thank a number of other entities. That's what makes this race successful, is not only the business sponsors, but even the people that don't work for the borough that provide free services. All that, it leads to a nice profit for the fire department. So it's too numerous to mention all the sponsors, but I do want to thank them for what they've done. And we're in a process of getting out thank you letters to them, so that'll be arriving soon. Memorial Day Parade, yes, it is the month of May, and we are working on the Memorial Day Parade. Actually, Councilman Boyd and myself are on the committee. The Memorial Day Parade will occur on Sunday, May 25th at 2 p.m. And hopefully we get a nice day, but please come out and support the troops and watch the parade. Public Works, I want to really thank Public Works. They pulled off what I consider maybe mission impossible, and I've heard nothing but compliments on it. They put a water fountain at the dog park, and instead of us having to buy a water fountain for like $3,000 or $4,000, these water fountains are expensive. They built this water fountain, fabricated themselves, painted themselves, installed it themselves, and we have a water fountain that is for both humans and canines. They have a doggy bowl at the bottom and a nice fountain at the top for the humans. Doesn't always work that way, I'm sure, but dogs do what they want to do. So that's a real nice thing for the people who utilize the dog park. So make sure you thank the guys for that. School garden. We will be having we started a school garden, and we had our winter planting at Carnegie Elementary, and then there will be a summer planting on May 19th. And with that summer planting, it'll become a community garden during the summer. So we will be taking applications for individuals who want to maintain the garden for a week throughout the summer. We really only have about 10 to 12 spots, so I'm sure there'll be more people that want to maintain it than we have spots. But if anybody's interested in maintaining a garden for a week throughout the summer, come see me and we'll get you scheduled. Speaking about our school, we had a wonderful, wonderful cultural day, and on May 2nd, it was it's one of those events that you're just so proud to be part of the community. We had acts and entertainment and food and everything from all different cultures from in and around Carnegie, and it was just a really nice day. There was just a buzz about the whole day, buzz about throughout the students. They really enjoyed themselves, and it's nice seeing us all embrace the different cultures and working together as one. Also, the school, the 6th graders had an absolutely wonderful trip to the SP Post, and I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about
I will
that.
say,
Yes, because I heard a lot of good things about it. They were very excited. In fact, this was like the day after, I think. Our cultural day was the 2nd. I think yours was the 1st.
It's actually May 1st.
Right, so it was the day after, and they were still buzzing about it up there.
May I?
If you'd like
All right,
to.
I'll wait.
Yeah, and I'll finish up here and then we'll.
Okay.
And the last thing is I want to thank Sue Demko, who doesn't really like to be thanked, but she put on a very nice fundraiser for a very important person in our community, somebody who has helped a lot of individuals, Tony Evans. And Sue Demko and her sisters, and with some help from the Rotary, put on this wonderful fundraiser with also the help of the Carnegie Fire Department and Phil Boyd. And it was just a very nice event and raised a lot of money for Tony Evans' battle with cancer. And it just shows you the kind of heart she has. So thank you very much, Sue. I know you wouldn't like that, but that's all right. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. General public comment. Aggie, do you want to lead us off?
Sure. First up, I want to say, I think I've told most of the people here, but I want to thank the borough for its help. We got an invitation to proceed with our application for a $300,000 grant from Department of Parks and Recreations, which is specifically to finally do the finished work in the library. Lighting, which is a major thing. I always say our electric lights are as bad as our natural light is beautiful. Plaster, we're holding it up with painted duct tape, carpeting, paint, etc. It will take our library, which is already very beautiful, and just maximize its impact. With the lighting, I can't stress how important that is for a library to have good lighting. It's not a slam dunk, it's just an invitation to proceed, and I'm proceeding, and I might need something from you. I don't know if do we need a permit to do interior work?
I'll do that, we can talk.
We'll talk about it, okay. And so thank you on that, and it is a grant that actually is passed through the borough, so we appreciate whatever you do on that. I'll do all the paperwork that has to go through you. I did want to comment on that field trip. It was May 1st, and I actually think there may be a little guest piece in the signal item, but I was bursting with pride at our school district. We had 60 kids who came on a 4-hour field trip. Now, I used to be the director of the Children's Museum. I said, look, are you nuts? 4 hours on a field trip. Most field trips last about 2 hours, and you're ready to say bye-bye. These kids were astonishing. I mean, library music hall was astonishing too. Diane did an incredible job, the teacher in terms of preparing the kids. But honestly, everything went so very smoothly. I just received lovely thank you notes today that were very personal. Their interest not only in the Civil War, but in the building, and Andrew Carnegie. It was just the most heartening thing, and we're following that up, and here's another one I'm thinking, what are we nuts? The high school is coming at the end of the month for a field trip that's scheduled at 7:45 a.m. I'm usually just rolling out of bed then, but they're coming at 7:45, yes. But this is actually a real dream of mine, that having an asset like the Library and Music Hall is a critical part of our school district. And part of that is forging a relationship where we maximize that the kids are using it. And I just honestly felt like I had, don't mean to be insider speak, but was grooming future Bill Manbys, with a love of the library. The kids were that interested. I think I also just want to make a comment. I mentioned that there's going to be, this may be out of line, I called Bob Paston and said, this just is a story that has to be told about how good these kids were and how the teachers and everything else. And Bob said, sure, send me something. And I gathered he's retiring this week. And I'm one of those people that have made friends with him over the years, but certainly I've worked with him very closely over the years. And I just want to say thank you, Bob, publicly for the signal item and the reporters that we have. I think he will be missed. He knew how to stir things up. I guess that's, one more, two plugs. Go Seek Out. It's a difficult play. It's a brilliant play. It's been just performed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday next week. It's Pulitzer Prize winning, Tony Award winning for the best play. The production did such a good job. It's a small, intimate one, but the brilliance of the script, it just came shining through. I was so proud of Stage 62. And this morning, we started a 10-week session of Tai Chi classes in the studio. Don't I look remarkable? But
Scare me.
no, I was really excited. We have about 15 people, which is a good sign up to come at 10 o'clock for a new initiative. And they promised us that we'll be completely different people, maybe in 10 weeks.
Hey,
That's it.
And
You
what
can
time
get with
is
John
that?
Chasky, you and him can battle it out.
Well, I think what they said is the real thing about self-defense is taking better care of yourself and being wise and mindful of your own body. So I won't duke it out with you, John.
Maggie, what time is that?
It's at 10 o'clock, which is difficult for people who are, I did it in my partner. Oh, the play? I'm sorry. 8 o'clock on Friday and Saturday and 2 o'clock on Sunday. It was really very, very well done and well worth seeing.
I'll be there this week.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Joanne?
I am Joanne Letcher with Carnegie Community Development Corporation. I just wanted to say I believe our first crawl of the year was a success. We had 19 businesses participating. Starting in June, Pullman's will be there, as well as the new Slice restaurant. And at Venice Church, we'll be having children's games. Mike, we have bands set up, correct?
Correct.
6:30 to 8. So I think that'll draw more people. So I would say it was a success. I think the hockey game kind of interfered there, but I know I saw a lot of you crawling, so that was a lot of fun. And I wanted to extend an invitation to all of you to the Business Mixer this Thursday at Papa J's from 4 to 7 p.m. We will also be getting tours of the wonderful renovation of the Masonic building, so please, everybody that wants to attend, please show and just let me know tonight if you'd like to go. We're going to have plenty of food. It should be a nice evening to meet your neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Seeing that there's no other public comment, we'll go into good and welfare. Councilwoman Demko?
Nothing tonight.
Thank you. Councilman Boyd?
Yeah, I actually have a few things this evening. Probably the most noteworthy, and I wanted to thank the Shade Tree folks in public. Mike, if you'd be kind enough when you meet with the good folks on Wednesday, This kind of comes under the category of unintended consequences, if you will. And not to make a big deal out of something that is nothing yet, but it's a possibility of something really, really good happening. Item number 5B in our agenda this evening that I read, which is the motion to file the financial assistance application to Penvest, is due, our ability to do that and our invitation to do so is in large part 3 years worth of effort by the Shade Tree Commission. And were it not for, not just them making the effort, but the effort being deemed positive and being truly a community effort, in that I think we had to turn volunteers away from the last tree planting because there were too many folks involved. And that's really a remarkable statement that to organizations that live on grants and can help you with other grants. So my hat's off to the Shade Tree Commission. I will gladly clean the fire department floor after the next party, as I did the last time, and we'll look forward to the same, because I think their efforts are they're just great.
Well, I think when we, in the earlier stages, when we were putting this all together, I told Pat, I said, if we do this, I said, good things, remarkable things can happen. And they are. So it's, you know, because there was question and reservation that, you know, what's a Shade Tree Commission going to do? You know, do we limit, I mean, there was a lot of, because we never had it. But, you know, I'm certainly glad and proud to continue. You know, I've been the liaison from the start of it, and remarkable things are happening. You know, just the conversation today with PennDOT, the line is whole street with trees. I mean, it's just more and more, and it's all helping the infrastructure. You know, it's all protecting the water runoff. I mean, it's good stuff. But I certainly will pass that along, Phil. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Mike. Another thing to call everyone's attention to is it's the time of the year when our EMS folks do their subscription drive. The Carnegie EMS is not supported by the borough or by tax dollars. It's supported completely by subscription and by the insurance reimbursements that come from those who are insured using their service. The subscription is a very, very important item, and I would encourage you to sign your little pledge card and send it in. They'll appreciate it. Another thing that I need to pass some thank yous on is it was a busy month for the fire department as far as fundraising is concerned. We do 3 fundraising activities. We're going to do more this year, but we do generally 3 fundraising activities. The 5K is obviously the big one, and is supported by the fire department, but not done by the fire department. We sell Christmas trees, you all see that go on, and we generate some money from that, which is great. But we also do a cash bash with the good folks at the Bridgeville Fire Department, and that was weekend before last as well. And the thanks go out to the sponsors that helped us this year. The thanks go out to the residents and people in the surrounding communities that bought their ticket and came out and had fun, and whether you won or lost, we appreciate it very much. But probably the most important thank you goes out to the folks that helped sell the tickets, not the least of which is my fellow council members. They all took at least one book. There was one overachiever whose name, I will not mention her name, but it's great to have that support, and thank you to you guys and lady for helping us there as well. And one other item that I have this evening is something that I'm participating in that I'm cautiously excited about. There's a company called Heffron Tillotson, which is a financial planning firm I happen to be a customer of. And they, last year, adopted Carnegie Elementary School and partnered with Junior Achievement to come in and literally put a volunteer or two in every classroom in there and go through some kind of business instruction. And I was a Junior Achievement person when I was younger, and I saw this in the paper last year and said, well, gee, I want to get involved. And the next thing I know, I donated a day. 8:30 to 3 o'clock, I'll be teaching 6th grade.
There's good kids, those 6th graders.
I'm just so excited. I really am excited, but having never spent a day with a classroom full of 6th graders, I'm not sure exactly. If I talk about it again next year, you'll know I really had a great time. But in addition, Mayor Kubistik, he claims that I got him involved in this by hook and by not exposing all the facts. He thought he was being a guest star and showing up for an hour and being the mayor for an hour, which he does very, very well, and at every event there is in the borough. So he thought it was a repeat performance of something that he does on a regular basis. And then when we went to training, he found out it was 8:30 to 3. I could see daggers coming at me, but I'm happy to have another new person involved in it, and I think it's going to be a great thing for our kids, and it's nice to have a decent-sized company like that volunteer and choose our community. I don't know why they chose us, but I'm glad they chose us, and I'm looking forward to it. Joanne?
I think that's done through Rotary.
Rotary Connection.
Yeah, Patty John and Carnegie Collier Rotary set that up.
Well, she works for Heifer and Tillotson.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
she started that, I think she started that a year or two ago when she was president.
Which is all that, it's just great that it's happening. It's happening here at Carnegie, and that's all I have this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Ward. Councilman DeLoss?
I don't have anything this evening, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Sarsfield.
Thank you, Mr. President. Spring has sprung, new trees in the ground, fresh flowers in the planters. It is such a special time of the year. We honor some of the most important people in our lives. Our mothers who, beyond any challenge, are always our supporters and defenders. Our police, who at a moment's notice are willing to put their lives in harm's way to protect ours. And our soldiers, whom I always say, I can only do what I do because of what they have done. I must also thank the families of our fallen police officers and soldiers. It is great that we pay tribute to those who have fallen, but let us always remember the families that are left behind and the sacrifices they've had to make for us also. I say thank you, God bless you to all of them, God bless all of you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Sarsfield. I have no report this evening, so thank you everyone for coming tonight. This meeting's adjourned.